A big hello and welcome to this fascinating discussion of this 15th annual Pharma Leaders Summit, which is debating on a theme called Healthcare Agenda. And to take the discussion ahead, we have one of the most fascinating panel discussions with us. And to discuss further on the issues of what the healthcare industry is facing, we have some of the leading luminaries of the industry and the healthcare experts who will be debating on a subject which is very core to me, and this is also one of the most important discussions which we must carry out, because we have just passed through the COVID-19 pandemic. It's still not over, but how we look at the future that we are going to look at, and to take the discussion forward, I'll be going through a various panel debates with these people and asking the queries. To start with Dr. Narasimhaiah, if I could ask you that you are one of the top coloproctologists and oncologist practicing at Apollo Hospital, and also you are running a center of your own. What are the three most important opportunities that you are seeing in post-COVID-19 pandemic? Are these do you see a worrying signs, or do you see a lot of changes are happening which is going for good?
Thank you, Dr. Brahma. I think adversity is a part of nature. Seeing opportunities in those adversities is important. Coming from India, we have the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, a family where one and all are healthy. Our country is aged about 75. The average lifespan is about 70 now. We have just gone through a COVID pandemic. Amidst the chaos of the pandemic, I think there have been huge opportunities we have seen in healthcare. Given the aging population, the digitalization that we are going through, I think the opportunities are enormous. At least in my field, digital health is something that is truly taken on. Teleconsultations is certainly that is truly doing very well. And one of the other things that we have seen during these difficult times is care closer to home. Home care is something that is really taken off. And there is so much of provision for us to do things better for the greater good of the society. So in summary, I think there is more reach out there because of telemedicine. Because of the technology, there's a lot more interaction between the patients and the clinicians. And the care which can be delivered, or which was delivered at the hospitals before, is going closer home, much more closer than we have ever seen. The service sector is phenomenally doing well, whether it's about ordering a medication and just dropped off in a matter of minutes, or about choosing a clinician on an internet platform. These have all made things much easier, much better. That's what I think is going on.
Right. Well, moving on, let me ask Sushant, who is leading Adroit Biomed Limited. Sushant, you've seen two pandemics, and there are a lot of changes happening. The exports are not going as per its plans. Even the domestic market is so fragmented that even the prescription-driven products are also going. You are not a luxury-driven market. You are in a market where you have to penetrate. You have to take doctors' prescriptions. How do you see the overall trend in terms of healthcare evolution? And are you seeing a paradigm shift in the approach in the healthcare industry at present?
First of all, thank you, Dr. Satya, for having me on the panel. Yes, COVID-19 has taught us a lot of things. One of the most important things that I have learned through the pandemic is adaptability. It is very important that we adapt to the changing situation. If you ask me, I have seen in real sense a paradigm shift pre-COVID versus post-COVID. Pre-COVID, the format in which we used to operate is way too different than what we are operating it today. Okay. Couple of things that I would like to highlight over here is, doctors earlier were not really open for teleconsultation. Today, they are very open for teleconsultation. I see that in their practice, they had made provision for almost 20 to 25% of their consultation to be done on tele and on call.
Doctors agree with you what he's saying, is from the pharma industry?
Being a neurosurgeon,
Teleconsultation.
honestly, I'm against teleconsultation.
You are against teleconsultation.
Teleconsultation.
So what do you have to say that Dr. Rao is telling he's against the teleconsultation?
So I'm
Doctor, before you jump into that one, can you tell me the reason why you are against the teleconsultation?
So
because the patients are not able to make it. They can't make it physically present actually. How do they get the treatment?
So being a neurosurgeon, it's almost all the time we do the surgeries, first thing. Second thing is, without doing a physical examination, it is very difficult to identify the problem. I mean, for just like an anemia or something else, having a lab test, you can say immediately. I mean, you can prescribe the medication or something. But having some spinal cord problem, and there might be after 40 years, everyone will have a problem in their spine. So, identification of the level of problem is more important. There might be 6 or 7 levels, but the problematic level is the most important thing. Especially, there is an opportunity to grow. I do teleconsultation, but because of the COVID, I started it. But literally speaking, without physical examination, we might do blunders. That is the one problem I personally see.
Right. So quite a contrasting view which we are going to hear from now from Dr. Naeem Siddiqui. When I interacted with him, that he is doing a lot of teleconsultation, same field. He is a top neurologist in India, a neurosurgeon in India, and he is doing a lot of digital consultation. What do you have to say that one of your colleagues just mentioned that he doesn't believe in that one, but you are doing a lot of teleconsultation actually. In fact, I couldn't find time to talk with you because you are busy with so many. Then after I spoke to you.
Exactly, yeah. See, I would try.
Would you discuss with Dr. Rao what he is saying?
No, I would be in between. Okay, because since being a clinician, I totally agree when it comes to from a surgical point of view. Physical examination, yes, it's vital, it's very essential, and you can make huge blunders. But then, what I have been doing is trying to differentiate between the two. Where you feel the physical examination is definitely needed, you ask them to come over to your place, go over to, because see, I have consultations from all over the world. From Africa, from Trinidad and Tobago, from US, from everywhere I consult patients. But then where a thorough physical examination is needed and compare it with the radiological investigations or whatever, there is no shortcut to that. But then yes, besides that, there is a huge chunk of patients. I would put at least 70 to 70.
How many patients you see per day? See, digitally and physically.
See, I see about 75 to 80 patients per day.
80% per day.
80 patients per day. Okay, out of which 50% are online and 50% in person.
Right.
Yeah, so it's in between. You know, I totally agree with you, and I agree with you. We have to choose. You know, this patient I can handle. You know, suppose it's a patient with migraine, you can handle it. You know, a case of Parkinson's, you can handle it. A case of say spinal cord injury, acute, he needs surgery, he needs evaluation. No, he has to go get the surgery. You can't do a surgery online. You can't even examine, you know, like my colleague was saying, there could be different levels, you have to choose which one is right. So we have to use our clinical acumen, common sense, and take a call. That's what I would say.
So what you have to say, Dr. Narasimhaiah, because both of the gentlemen actually have reached a consensus that when it comes to the surgical process and procedures, you need a physical stuff. But when it is a preliminary level, which is not that complex, you could digitally see a patient actually. Do you buy this idea?
I think what we have to understand and realize is technology has moved on. Touch, which is what we are used to, is important. What a clinician would like to see is it an emergency?
Are you doing a teleconsultation?
Yes, I am doing teleconsultations. About 5 to 10% of mine are teleconsultations. The clinical follow-ups are teleconsultations, especially the non-communicable diseases. A lot of the physicians do, you know, diabetes control, hypertension control, they're all teleconsultations.
Do you prescribe medicines on WhatsApp?
Currently, if it's a patient which I've already seen and I know what the problem is, I do. Otherwise, I don't. If it's a follow-up consultation, changing the medications, I do, but I still write on the letterhead and send it off to them on WhatsApp. So the answer is yes. So I think it is horses for courses. When it comes to emergencies, no teleconsultation. When it comes to follow-ups, I'm quite happy doing that. And what we have to realize is the technology has moved on. Things like the PET scans, things like the MRI. See, for example, let me give you a small example. I'm a colorectal surgeon. I do routinely robotic surgeries. A patient says, sir, I've had constipation, I've got a lump, extremely painful? Is it cancer? What I do is, with the technology I say, can you take a photograph and send it to me? I have made sure that there are no risk factors. And he sends me a photograph, it's a thrombosed hemorrhoid, it's because he's failed at his tools. So it's horses for courses. And what we cannot ignore is, you cannot forget the technology. Time and tide, you cannot stop. So is touch and technology. That's my thought. Thank you.
Sushant, what you have to speak after listening to top 3 doctors in the field, who are divided in their opinion, but almost everybody agrees that teleconsultation is there.
I'm against to the. I'm against to the teleconsultation, but we are implementing it because we have to go through the digitalization process, and I'm the one.
Did you have a change of thought after listening to them, or
No. I do teleconsultation, but my first opinion, what I said was, I'm personally against to that, because I miss so many diseases.
But you have to tell somewhere what is the red line, where you stand actually.
So, my starting itself, I'll say, I might commit a mistake, because I'm not examining it. So, my opinion might be wrong to the patient.
Somebody from Manipal consults you with a neurological disorder and he is not able to make it, how will you do that? It should basically.
So it is like an emergency, immediately.
I think yours is one of the first center, I believe.
It's like the premier center, not the first center. It's like even in Hyderabad or Mumbai or so many places, they don't have the technology what I have. And they don't have AI and all that. I use artificial intelligence, I use everything. But human mind is the ultimate thing. At the end, you need to take the decision. And teleconsultation is like for seeing a fever in a rural population, having 200 OP for a physician. Yes, right. It's an option.
Sushant, what do you have to say after listening to these 3 doctors?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with all of them.
Although your target audience are the cosmetologist and dermatologist, so
dermatologist, hospitalist, but that's I would say the sentiments are same across the specialties. Okay, more or less the follow-up is happening on teleconsultation. A few lighter elements, doctors are trying to check it via teleconsultation. But yes, wherever touch is required, they really call for patients for physical examination. I think that's the change that we're talking about, and as I said, that adaptability is the key. So going back to the point, what are the key learnings that we have post-COVID is, one, definitely this change in approach where the consultation is happening in. Number 2, one of the most important difference that I've seen is in supply chain management. Nowadays, logistics, yeah. It has gone 360-degree transformation. You see a lot of e-pharmacies coming in where there is a convenience where you, on a click of a button, you call for medicines at home. So this change, if you have seen in the last 3 years, all the e-pharmacies have boomed up. Okay, and that kind of a convenience is it's achieved because of the challenges faced by COVID. And if you look at, and we also have gone through a lot of challenges in maintaining our inventories during the COVID period. But that's a major learning which we have gotten. And I would also say that supply chain is one thing which is very, which has transformed over COVID. And also the third important change that I would say is the industry, the pharmaceutical industry and doctor interaction. That has also undergone a change. Earlier the way and the kind of liberty that we had in meeting doctors. Today there is a lot of framework attached to it. Okay, there are new rules which have been set up. There's a new protocol which needs to be followed. So I think these are some changes which have happened, but all changes are for good. And I strongly believe that everybody has to adopt, and with adaptability, there is certainly going to be progress which is going to come our way in the coming days.
Yes, Dr. Parlie, we have the point actually.
Yeah, just one point I would like to add here. That is not going against anybody who what has spoken here. Is
even it goes against them, it's at the top of the
but see the greatest achievement which I have seen in the last 2.5 years post-COVID is, like Dr. pointed out, we have become accessible. Like see, for instance, now somebody had to consult me. He had to take 1 full day off, travel from Delhi to Bangalore, spend so much money. And then at the end of it, because I cater to some of the worst and untreatable neurological conditions like motor neuron disease, autism, spinal cord injury, where after surgery, after every treatment, there has been no recovery at all. Now people come to me to consult and say, can I help them? To say yes or no, they had to spend close to about 25,000-30,000 plus 1 or 2 days. Now I can do it in hardly, not even 1/10, less than that. Less than $1,000. Person is sitting at home, I can see the patient and tell him whether you need to come here or you don't need to come here. So, again, the changing times and talking about, what our other colleague was talking about, supplying things to, the villagers, reaching out. I get patients from remote villages. So, looking at the larger interest for the nation, yes, teleconsultation has helped amazingly. Saving money, time, you don't need to take off from your work. So, I am in favor of it, keeping your sensibility.
Okay, now let me take to this healthcare opportunities and innovations in difficult times to a rather political one. And the gentleman who is sitting second right to the right is Mayank Gandhi. I don't know, many of you are aware of it, not that he is the face of anti-corruption movement in 2014. What is, I forgot, sir. 11-12. Yeah, it is 2011. He was the head of Maharashtra's anti-corruption movement. It was called anti-corruption, which actually led to the India against corruption, which led to the Arvind Kejriwal in the present position. Once a right-hand man of Arvind Kejriwal, he has been reduced to nowhere now. And Mayank Gandhi, being a social reformer, he found politics to be a nasty one. And I don't know what is the reason that he gave it up. Then he grew and he went to a place called Parlie, which are surrounded by all the villagers with no basic amenities and everything. He changed everything then, he did plantation, he made agricultural reforms, the water supply was not there. He ensured that every water supply comes to the basic homes now. Now my question to you that when we celebrate 75 years of independence, Narendra Modi talks about India has arrived and healthcare is at its peak and we have vaccinated so many people and you are a global leader. What have you done to the village? You come from the same village where you are giving water, plantation, everything. I have seen there are no primary healthcare centers, there are no doctors. So what are you sitting there? Why are you doing it? Get out of the place if you can't do it.
It's not my business to do healthcare there. I am trying to increase their income so that they can have access to it.
That is well accepted.
Having said that, let me respond to whatever you have said. आप लोग सब इंडिया को देखते हैं, मैं भारत में काम करता हूँ।
But India बाहर सेम स्टोरी है।
वो आपको लगता है एक बार आइए ना, I invite you to come there, वो कोई अलग ही देश है। आपको जहाँ पे ये सब सूखे लोग जो आप बात करते हो अंग्रेजी में, वहाँ पे आके आप देखिए क्या जीवन है और किस तरह जीते हैं, किस तरह वो मरते हैं।
But when you used to come regularly on television, on all the leading channels, nowadays you have stopped actually, you don't attend it. You are giving fine lecture, we'll do that, we'll do this.
बिल्कुल।
वो कैसे चला गया? अरविंद केजरीवाल कैसे चेंज हो गया ये? And his models of Mohana clinic and educational institutions are talk of the town. He has abandoned you and he has also gone against it, even went to the extent of writing a book of up down.
So, having said that, let me take 2 minutes. मैं भी एक अंग्रेज था, जैसे यहाँ पे सब बैठे ना, मैं भी अंग्रेज था।
You are a congressman.
हाँ?
You are a congressman.
अंग्रेज था,
okay.
मैं अंग्रेज था, मैंने गांव कभी देखा नहीं था। फिर मैंने पॉलिटिक्स देखा, मुझे लगा कि इसके लायक मैं नहीं हूँ।
And you contested election for member of Parliament.
हाँ, मैंने सब कुछ किया, मैंने देखा कि मैं इसके लायक ही नहीं हूँ। एक अलग है, केजरीवाल ने मुझे नहीं निकाला, मैंने पॉलिटिक्स छोड़ दिया। Having said that, मैं गांव गया और अगले लास्ट फ्रॉम 2015 में गांव में काम करता हूँ। वो भी वैसा गांव जो probably the worst in the country. Highest farmer suicide, 3,500 family income per month, and they were living because they are not yet dead. Now I am working in 21,000 villages.
21,000 villages.
तो मैंने भी 2.5 करोड़ फल के पेड़ लगाए और बहुत कुछ काम किया। हेल्थ केयर इज नॉट माई फोकस एरिया। वहाँ का लाइफ देखते हो, मैं वहाँ गांव में ही रहता हूँ उनके साथ। वो देखने के बाद मुझे पहली बार समझ में आ रहा है कि मैं किस दुनिया में जी रहा था। सहारा स्टार दुनिया में जी रहा था। वहाँ एक अलग लाइफ है, अलग लोग हैं, अलग उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, अलग कंसर्न्स हैं।
So you are admitting today that Arvind Kejriwal lives in a Sahara star like place? Am I right?
I am not responsible or I am not quoting Arvind Kejriwal. I am talking about myself.
But he is your best friend.
नहीं वो था तो मैं सहारा स्टार लाइफ में था, मैं इंडिया की लाइफ में था. I was an international urban planner. I used to give consultancy to 23 countries, developed countries in the world. और वहाँ सब लोगों की लाइफ देखी तब मुझे लगा अपने देश में कैसे कर सकते हैं. तो फिर अन्ना हजारे के साथ मैंने काम शुरू किया. लेकिन मैं एक अर्बन आदमी था, मुझे भारत के बारे में कुछ पता नहीं था. लेकिन लास्ट 7 साल से मैं इंडिया में, मैं भारत में हूँ और मैं जानता हूँ कि जितना डिस्टेंस यहाँ और अमेरिका के बीच में है, शायद उतना ही डिस्टेंस भारत और इंडिया के बीच में है. तो हम लोग आज इंडिया में बैठ के बात कर रहे हैं, हम इंडिया में बैठ के बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि ये जो टेलीस्कोप है इसको घुमाना पड़ेगा भारत की तरफ. और टेक्नोलॉजी, टेलीमेडिसिन, टेली कंसल्टेशंस should become the norm for the medical fraternity to reach out to the real need of the country. हम कर सकते हैं अपने 5, 10, 15, 20% लोगों को. We are giving the best medicine in the world probably.
So what are the
I am very proud of it.
What are
But
the
what about the rest of the 70, 80%?
No, I
That's
am
where my focus is.
talking about the healthcare interventions that you are doing. Are there any doctors? Are there any medical centers? Government, I am not talking about private.
See, there are medical centers and there are hospitals, but those are in towns. And
But how?
one town is surrounded maybe by 200, 500 villages. मैं गांव में, जैसे मैं जिस गांव में स्टार्ट किया परली में, वहाँ पे 15 बाइक्स हैं. There are about 2000 people living there. तो जिसके पास बाइक है वो तो गांव छोड़ के जा भी सकता है. बाकी पूरी जिंदगी, they are 70, 80-year-old people, वो गांव छोड़ के कहीं जा भी नहीं पाए, उनके पास कोई व्हीकल भी नहीं जाने का. इस तरह की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं. आप सोच रहे हो कि हॉस्पिटल में जाएगा, मेडिकल में जाएगा, उसका कॉस्ट बेयर करेगा, वहाँ पे जाए. It's a very, very different challenge and it needs to be addressed by the medical fraternity for sure.
Not medical fraternity, policy maker actually. So,
पॉलिसी जो होती है ना,
so you think Narendra Modi only talks about all propaganda stuff and everything, is actually not doing anything. Are you telling me that?
मेरी लायकात नहीं है मोदी और केजरीवाल की बात कर रहे हैं. मैं अपनी एग्जांपल से दे रहा हूँ.
But this is a
लेकिन मैं आपको जो
this is India's premier healthcare program where you have to tell either take a stand, yes or no.
मैं ले रहा हूँ ना, यस और नो नहीं होता है ना, वो तो डिड यू बीट स्टॉप बीटिंग योर वाइफ, ऐसा नहीं होता है ना.
Okay.
मैं ये आपको कह रहा हूँ कि यहाँ पे जो एयर कंडीशन टावर में बैठ के पॉलिसी बनाते हैं वो जमीन तक पहुँचती नहीं है. इतने सालों में, 70 साल में कितनी पॉलिसीज बनी है. वहाँ के लोगों की जिंदगी पहले थी वैसी ही है और अब वो सुसाइड कर रहे हैं, वो मर रहे हैं, उनकी हालत ये है.
But Devendra Fadnavis is in your Devendra Fadnavis is in your WhatsApp list. Why don't you give him a talk? Why don't you call him and tell him this is what is happening?
भैया किसको नहीं पता है, ऐसा कोई है? सबको पता है, पर आँख बंद कर लेते हैं.
So at the end of it, it's vote only, right? Election vote.
जो सो रहा है उसको उठा सकते हो, जो सोने का नाटक करता है उसको कैसे उठाओगे?
So Narendra Modi is stress-tested. Narendra Modi is stress-tested. He doesn't know the reality.
इतनी बड़ी बात में मोदी, फडणवीस का बड़े-बड़े नाम दे रहे हो. वहाँ का कानूभाई, सिंगरले की बात करो ना, मेरे को भी समझता है.
But that is what is coming from the bottom of the pyramid.
You know, top and cheese the bottom, it doesn't happen. There is a serious disconnect between policy and practice. You must understand that. So many policies have come by this government, earlier government, state government, central government, local government. The lives of the people is as it is.
But Kangana Ranaut told from 2014, India got independent. India was not independent in 1947.
अरे कंगना राउत बहुत बड़ी पॉलिटिकल कमेंटेटर है.
No, but she must have thought something.
तो उनको पूछिए.
इसका मतलब सब कुछ चेंज हो गया. इसका मतलब everything has changed. Healthcare landscape has changed. मोदी आने के बाद पूरा innovation हो गया. There are no uncertainties. Everything is going smoothly. But there is still 2%. The budget is given only to the healthcare. Why not 9%?
सत्या, ये पॉलिसी लेवल पे मैं नहीं बात कर पाऊंगा. मेरी कैपेसिटी नहीं है.
But you mean
No, when I was in politics, when I was in the highest echelon of policy making, तब की बात अलग है. रियलिटी देखने के बाद मुझे पॉलिसी के ऊपर तो मैं क्रॉस मार रहा हूँ. रियलिटी को कैसे एड्रेस करोगे? And it is only the people who are sitting here, people who understand, who are working with the people, who can work for them. बाकी पॉलिसी मेकर की सोच लीजिए आप, कुछ ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है लोगों का, कुछ सर्टेन परसेंटेज डू बेनिफिट, बट ओवरऑल आई एम सेइंग अ वेरी लार्ज मेजॉरिटी ऑफ दिस कंट्री में who need medical intervention the most.
I also came to know from sources in a place called Weed, which comes under the Parlie, that actually you are the front runner contender for member of parliament from the BJP. Is it true or not? In 2024, please tell me yes or no. Have you started a back channel talk with the BJP? Have you heard the news also? No.
Let me respond now.
Yes.
अगर मेरे से कोई दुश्मनी है ना, तो मेरे को रास्ते में पकड़ के मार देना, लेकिन पॉलिटिक्स में मत भेजना. I am not going back ever into politics.
So we'll rewind this discussion when in 2024, when Mayank Gandhi will not be a candidate from BJP in 2024. Am I right?
24, 26, 28, 30, आप गिनती कर लो. I will never be a candidate. मैंने पॉलिटिक्स को बहुत नजदीक से देखा. ओशो ने कहा था कि लाइफ के अंदर रिचनेस भी है, पॉवर्टी भी है. You have to choose तुमको कैसी लाइफ जीनी है. मुझे लग रहा है पॉलिटिक्स इज एक्सट्रीम पॉवर्टी. मुझे पॉलिटिक्स वाली जो गंदी जिंदगी है उसमें कभी वापस नहीं जाना है. मैं बहुत स्वच्छ काम कर रहा हूँ, लोगों की सेवा करके उनकी जिंदगी बेहतर कर.
But there are a lot of politics happening in Indian Medical Council, in the all the top level. The presidents are getting arrested with all the reasons and everything. Everywhere politics is crept into. We can't escape out of it.
So don't escape. I want to escape personally. आप लोग सब करिए ना पॉलिटिक्स. किसको मैं मना किया क्या? In a democracy, politics is very essential, but I am out of it.
But what about the lives of the people who earn less than $1 per day? How do they get medical treatment in your villages?
करने वाले बहुत कर भी रहे हैं. ऐसा to put a brush everyone with the same brush is not right. There are people even in the villages who are working on medical also. But I am
But you don't want to work on medical because it's a complex field.
That's what.
It's not because it's complex. Everyone has a focus. I used to work on medical, I used to work on education, I used to work on capacity building, etc. etc. फिर मैं कर रहा था 15 गाँव में काम. फिर मैंने सोचा अगर मैं सारे काम करूँगा ना, तो इस जिंदगी में मैं 25, 50, 100 गाँव शायद कर पाऊँगा. और भारत के अंदर 6,40,000 गाँव है. So it was time to pivot and take up only one thing. So I decided if I can multiply the income of farmers by 6 to 10 times, he has the capacity to take care of the education as well as healthcare. So I decided to shift only to increasing income and not anything else. But there are other people, especially across who are sitting here, who should focus more on this Bharat. That's my only request to all of you.
Dr.
That's what I am focusing at this moment. So that's why I started this free.
Do you agree what Mayank Gandhi has spoken?
I am not a political person.
But you have to have an opinion, you have to comment.
I don't get an opinion on that.
You do not have any opinion. You will speak only about medical.
Only medical.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. So that's why, after finishing all this fellowships and everything, I came back to a type 3 city and started this. So some other people are doing that. They are going to near the places, to the all the villages and all the people are doing it. Not like everyone is in the cities, but some of them they are going and they are doing their social work.
So Dr. Narasimhaiah, you have a
don't disagree with him.
Okay.
There are people working in rural, but the amount of technology, the knowledge, the cutting edge thing that needs to come, which is now coming in India, needs to go to Bharat.
Sir, I think it's an excellent discussion. See, to me, a country is run on 3 pillars: education, healthcare, and infrastructure. I think amongst that, 2 are things that we are trying to work on. So let me just talk about things that have reached out. Tell me how many people do not have a mobile phone in the bulk majority of the villages today. So the digitalization has crept in. Now amongst the world, I think ours is the best digitalized country. Tell me how many people don't use a phone pay, for example. So digitalization is there, technology.
We have more number of mobile phones in
Correct.
villages than the toilets.
Exactly. So let me come to what Sir says. Sir has got a point. But importantly, what we need to think about is, think about Ayushman Bharat. 5 million people getting benefited. 5 lakh per head. Even the poorest of the ones can go and get access for a treatment for 5 lakh rupees.
No, Apollo Hospital will not admit
Not
that.
Apollo. No, we're not talking about Apollo. But in general, there are hospitals which can do that. Okay, look at what we are talking about Ayushman Bharat, apart from the, Pradhan Mantri Jan Yojana. Okay. We are looking at health and wellness centers. Today, there are about 6,500 health and wellness centers. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to take the primary care back to the community, which the system existed during the British times. The skeleton exists, but we have not utilized it. Think about the ASHA workers. We just had a talk looking at ASHA workers being utilized to reach out. So our connect is there in the community. Each and every village do have ASHA workers. So I think we need to build on that ASHA workers or build on that care we have. So to say nothing has happened is probably slightly far from truth. But what we need to do is, it is not India that has.
Are we living in a state of uncertainty?
No, I think we are certainly moving forward. Let us think about what the policymakers can do. I just mentioned what the government, the policymakers can do. What is that we professionals can do? We create awareness to people. What is that population can do? Run this through in the society. What is that as a person you can do? There's a lot you can do. So I think to say that it is just the responsibility of the policymaker is wrong. It is our responsibility too. As the pharma industry, as medical colleagues, as the policymakers, we all have a responsibility to improve the healthcare, make the healthcare a Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. This is my thinking. So we are certainly on a better pathway, I think. And what route he is taking is also absolutely right. For example, you know about women empowerment. Why people give women empowerment? Because she runs the family. She gets the family up. That is what he is doing. He is giving them financial independence. See, Mother Nature and healthcare are no different. If we actually blend to the Mother Nature, the cause and the cure for every illness lies in the Mother Nature. And I think that is what he is doing. He is improving the Mother Nature, decreasing the diseases and giving them money, which is an extremely laudable thing to do. So I think they are not separate. They are all integrated to each other is my thought. Thank you.
I'm coming to Sushant, Raone. There has already been allegations. It has been often talked about that pharmaceutical companies are looting the patients by charging exorbitant prices. Now some of the doctors are present here. I don't know whether they will agree with me or not. Now these prices are so high that common people cannot afford it. So what is Adroit Biomed pricing strategy when it comes to giving it to the patient? Some of the prices I've seen 1,600, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. I can't buy that personally myself actually.
Okay, so Satya, pricing is a very subjective matter. Okay, everything depends on the product, the technology, the overall. What do you say?
I understand this.
Which goes into building of that brand. Okay, so I really will not be able to comment on pricing strategy of other pharmaceutical companies, but at Adroit, yes. If you look at our product range that we have, all our products are innovation driven. None of our products, majority of our products are innovation driven. Okay, few definitely have a me-too range of products. So at me-too range of products, where there is a competitive cost, we always try and give that benefit to the patient. However, when it comes to a technologically driven product, where there is a significant cost involved in R&D, yes, at times it tends to be a little premium product, but ultimately if you look at the value which the patient is going to get by using the product, okay, that actually covers up for the cost. Okay, so it's again a cost to benefit that we will talk about.
Good. Now Dr. Naeem, if it will come to you, we are talking about healthcare innovations and we are talking about the challenges that the industry is facing. So, do you look at artificial intelligence, IoT and robotics will be the order of the day in surgery in the years to come, which are not presently used to that much actually. I think last 2 to 3 years have come to the terms that these are the things which will be future actually. And what Plexus Neuroscience is doing in this field actually.
Yeah, Dr. Satya, yes, okay, this is the future. Okay, everyone has been talking about digital thing and technology. Yes, that is the future. And my colleague was also talking about, robotic surgery. We are doing, all over India. It's been happening. Now at Plexus, what we are doing is a little different from, we are not into robotics. We use artificial intelligence. We use all that for the other things. But the treatments I am offering is basically using the stem cell technology.
Okay.
Okay, so now this is something which is very new in the world. Well, it has been there for quite some time, but then it's gaining popularity in the last decade or two. And this is something which cures diseases which hitherto were not treatable. You know, somebody who's bedridden and now he's back, you know, coming back to what all of everyone has been talking about. My focus is the same, you know, a 40-year-old only earning member who was bedridden for the last 6 years and nobody was providing his family. We give him treatment and he goes back to work. You know, somebody with a spinal cord injury, surgery has been done, still he's unable to walk. We use stem cell technology and make him walk and he goes back to work. So, you know, we are focusing on that. We are not much into robotic technology, but neurosurgery and orthopedics, and there is a huge scope, and we are doing in India, which is artificial, so many other things, and that's the norm of the day now. That's norm. Without which, you know, city will not help me.
Okay, I'll come to Dr. Rao later on, but follow-up question to that one actually. In one of the conversations I had with you, you work 18 hours per day. It also goes with me, but I work 14 hours or something. And you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you work till 12 o'clock. You told me you work till 12 o'clock. So there is a standard protocol which says that you need sleep for 8 hours. If a doctor is not able to sleep, how will I be able to sleep, a common person? Am I right that you get up at 3 o'clock and sleep at 12? 1, 2, 3, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Is it true or not?
It is. Okay, but then you see, sleep is something now, since I'm into the neurosciences, sleep is an individual thing. Okay, there are some people who have to sleep for 10 hours, and there are people who can sleep like I feel.
What is the medical science saying? You know, minimum.
No, there's nothing called minimum. You know, we say about 6 to 10 hours on an average. Okay. No, it all depends on how you tune your system. You know, and that's about it. Okay, and then well.
I'm just worried, you know, while operating, you might not go wrong so because you're not getting enough sleep.
No, this has been something which I've been doing for years, and
no, it's other conversation.
Yeah, okay, and it's just God's grace. Okay, I can do multiple things at a time as well. Maybe there's a lot of artificial.
No, you have been a great doctor. I know you've solved so many queries and others. I think I will ask Dr. Rao to extending of the AI and robotics.
Yeah, AI is very useful. Robotics are, at this moment, those are not the robots, they are cobots.
And Dr. Rao's Medical Center of Neurosciences is doing,
Yes, I have all of those. I integrate the technology at every point. Basically speaking, when a stroke patient comes, whether I need to take him for the stroke thrombectomy or not. Stroke thrombectomy is recent technology. From 2016 onwards, when a blood vessel clogged with the clot, we will go up from the groin or wrist and we will take out that clot. That is called the stroke thrombectomy. If a patient comes like that, the protocols will change like over on and on. So, but what we finally come to know is there is an artificial intelligence rapid software, and we use that, and we will identify which is a salvageable brain. So that based on that, we will go ahead whether to do that surgery or not. And when it comes to the robotics, what we have is like at this moment cobots. They are like, they need our help in every aspect. They do like, they are helpful for precision and accuracy, but without a human mind they are not. So what I see is robots, and we are doing.
Let me take, all of you one round each actually, starting with you, Dr. Narasimhaiah. Are we living in a state of denial when it comes to the healthcare innovations? Much needed to be changed, but it's not happening. Or is that, we have achieved a point. In fact, in my opening address, I did speak about we have arrived. This is a fact. But I want to hear something from you because I'm too small before all of you, who every day, you're operating, you're seeing so many patients, one of the top colorectal surgeon and neurologist and so on actually. So am I right in saying that, is the time has come that, we should strike the iron, and is there more thing to do? I know it's a constant thing we have to innovate, but have we actually arrived?
I don't think we are in denial to say, innovation is not happening. Innovation is a dynamic process. It's an ongoing process. So if you actually look at it, the whole patient journey today, it's an amalgamation of technology, innovation and touch. See, think about what they're talking about artificial intelligence, whether it's diagnostic, looking at slides, whether it's radiology, looking at images, whether it's about, operating, utilizing robots. But what has to be borne in mind is the clinical decision making cannot be taken out of the equation. The human touch cannot be taken out of the equation. So in the patient journey, I think both of them coexist. And innovation is not a static thing. We have certainly done a lot of innovations, and it will keep continuing as time passes by, and it's a dynamic process. So I think we are doing it, more needs to be done, and I don't think we can stop with innovations, no.
Right. Sushant, can I come back to you? What is the percentage of your revenue that you have given to R&D, and how you think that R&D and the technology are going to play a key role in your pharmaceutical manufacturing development? The skincare segment.
Certainly, R&D, innovation, product development, these are part and parcel of life. If you look at Adroit, what we strongly believe is in power of innovation. Right. So very recently we have come up with a new product which is choline stabilized orthosalicylic acid. This product we are using for skin, hair and nail. Okay. So this is a unique product which works on stimulating the beauty proteins. Okay. And also it has got application in joint health. Okay. So Sridika per se is not bioavailable to the body, so it's a technology. So what I'm trying to try over here is it is the power of innovation, which is helping us get this innovative product. Now, I strongly believe unless and until you have that appetite for innovation, you will not be in the race, And today there is absolutely no scope for being like a me too. Okay. So certainly at Adroit we have this strong, inclination for new product development and innovation, which is helping us, be up there and being one of the most valued company amongst the medical fraternity.
Right. Dr. Naeem, if I could ask you, what are the three most important challenges we face in the healthcare industry in the years to come, and what would be the three most opportunities we have? Challenges and opportunities, yeah.
The challenges would be basically like you're talking about in general the healthcare?
In general healthcare, yeah.
Yeah, one of the most important would be reaching out to the masses and trying to ensure each one gets the right kind of healthcare. That would be the most important thing. And one of the things which post-COVID we have already started doing is telemedicine, by which we are able to penetrate the remotest part of the village and try to give them treatment at very affordable rates, and some point of time we were talking about medication being expensive and all that stuff, but then again, if you look at the value and the patient is going back to work and earn for his livelihood, I think instead of talking about three, I think I would just sum it up in one and say, okay, this is how I think we are going to reach out and help the entire humanity, I would say, not only the nation.
Right. Dr. Roy, if I could come to you and ask a very important question, that what are the shortcomings that you're seeing which we need to rectify so that the future generation will not suffer? Not in the neurological point of general.
It's a big question for me. So the shortcomings is like reachability. The first and foremost thing is reachability and the awareness in the public. So that government has to do. I mean, ourselves we do and we reach very few people, and to these programs we reach some little bit more. But ultimately the public health is the most important thing, and that is going on, but not to the extent what it is needed.
Are you satisfied?
That is the biggest shortcoming.
Are you satisfied with the government guidelines and?
I don't know much. But what I am seeing is at the level of the bottom level, the policies will be different and the execution is totally different. So in between the governance will be there. And the governance.
But Jagan Reddy has not done anything in the state of Hyderabad in the Andhra Pradesh actually. He's a zero actually. He's looked at public money. How do you expect the healthcare innovations to come in?
I don't know anything about that. So
no, we might be getting some state guidelines, isn't it? Jagan Reddy is quite famous for that actually. That is the reason why he's siding with BJP, because he might get arrested if he speaks something else. Anyway, that's a different question. Now the final word to Mayank Gandhi, what I'm going to ask, is 2024 done deal for Modi, irrespective of healthcare in a SEBI position or if something happens or not, is it a done deal or not? A very honest answer. Now you wear the political hat and tell me. I know you have given up wrong, so.
I am very interested in politics. the politics of the nation, not in electoral politics. So
Is
anything that-
2024 a done deal for Modi?
I would think so.
You?
I would think so.
This
There
this
is
is
no
good.
opposition. And he seems to have done a great deal of work, except for a couple of areas where I think he has missed out.
Which are the areas that is missed out?
One is that he has misused institutions.
CBI,
Very bad,
income tax,
yeah.
and DD.
As a prime minister, as a ruling party, everyone has misused, but the amount of misuse of institutions that
I
this
hope we are
government
not
has
in the
done-
line, but in fact we are very clean, so we don't have that much money, so nothing will happen, even if we speak.
Oh, you don't have, but there are others here who have a lot.
No, they are very simple doctor, I don't have very well, yeah.
So that is one area which I feel strongly that the government should not have misused institutions so badly, especially against anyone who is opposing. The second, I think that the kind of divisions that are taking place among community, castes, I think without a stable society, country cannot progress. And if there is so much hatred and so much fight going on between
Communal riots.
communities, that's not a very, not many communal riots, but it is building to a stage where things can happen. It's a very dangerous area that we are reaching. But as far as development is concerned, welfare measures, the Jan Dhan Yojana, and multiple things that are happening, I don't think this country has progressed as far as they have under Modi. Or still more importantly, in the geopolitical scenario, India's standing has increased from where it was to an extremely high position. So, and thirdly, most importantly, because there is no opposition, I think Modi will win.
But when people talk about Kejriwal, they talk about KCR, they talk about Mamata Banerjee,
They will talk about Rahul Gandhi. It
they
doesn't
talk
matter.
about
These are all regional figures. On national level, I do not see anyone challenging him. And they have a very strong election machinery. They know how to, they have the money, they have the resources, they have the intellect, they have the branding. I think they will easily spread.
I think yes, with that we come to the concluding part of the discussion, and this has been a
I just
fascinating
wanted
debate.
to last
Mayank Gandhi did speak about 2024 is a done deal for Narendra Modi, and since he is driving the nation for the healthcare delivery mechanism, I think much needed to be done as of now. And I also don't think that India got independence from 2014. I got it down from 1947. So what has happened about 2014 till 2022 now? There has been a lot of difference. Modi has brought a lot of changes. He is actually a visionary. But I don't know where the missing link is there. That is what I am trying to find out in this platform. Yes, you want to say something, actually, yes. Just quickly, yeah, running out of time.
Just wanted to, I was
Yes.
very tempted listening to AI and robotics and
Yes, yes.
technology, that it's only limited to a very small portion of the country. I'm very tempted to request all my friends here, you must focus on the real country. Thank you.
Okay. With this, we come to the end of this fascinating debate on the healthcare innovations and opportunities in difficult times. We did speak about AI and robotics. We did speak about reaching out the rural villages. We also did, try to get a perspective from Dr. Narasimhaiah, Dr. Sushant, Dr. Naeem and Dr. Rao. What could be the change scenario in the future days to come? It has been a pleasant discussion with you. Thank you, Dr. Narasimhaiah, for being with us. Thank you, Mayank. Thank you, Sushant. Thank you, Dr. Naeem. Thank you, Dr. Rao. And let's wish that India is going to beat. And it has been wonderful having with you. Thank you for a great audience also. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time with a bigger discussion. Thank you. Can we have the moment?